Okay, so that's that. Oh!
Maintaining his composure, Carl recalled something from his military training. Wolves always stay away from populated areas. Wait, was it about bears?
Well, you better make up your mind. I don't want to deal with bears or wolves, to be honest with you. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Kona. I'm your host, the bird, known as Falcon. If you recall, and you were around last year, we actually covered the press preview build of this game. Back then, the game was very, early in development. There was no story, no NPCs. The entire story was basically kept under wraps to avoid spoilers into the release date. Little did I know, this game actually came out last week or two, I want to say. I wasn't even aware of it. The game was actually very low-key released, and a couple of you guys mentioned it to me. Hey, remember that game you covered? It's out. Are you going to do a little follow-up coverage on it? And I checked it out, and lo and behold, you were right. The game is actually out. So, how about we do a video here and see what Kona is as a full product now. This is a survival narrative game. If you guys want to see more beyond this video, let me know in the comments, let me know by leaving a like, and maybe we cover the entire thing, we'll see. But for now, I'm really kind of curious to see what the game ended up turning into. So, let's go for it.
Carl Faubert sought information for a living. That is to say that ever since he returned from Korea, after having served with the armed forces, he had been working as a private investigator in Montreal. William Hamilton, a rich industrialist, had gotten in touch with him regarding a simple vandalism issue. Nothing to write home about. Not worth hiring a private eye either, just so he can drive for hours on rough roads. But that's how it had always been. The client pays, Carl gets it done. They had set up to meet at the general store, his client's business. Well, actually, the entire village had William Hamilton's name written all over it. When the roads were bad, muddy, or snowed in, it was customary around these parts to close them off. But it was also customary to ignore those signs entirely and drive there anyway.
Alrighty, I'm trying to keep the commentary low-key because I know there's a lot of narration in this game, so I don't want to talk over that, obviously, and, take that away from the game because there's a lot of narration, as I mentioned here. So what do we got here? Inspect. How often does a road need to be closed to require 2 picnic tables at its gate? And it's got a lot of sense of humor as well. I like that. So let's find out what we have in here, huh? Pop this open. Don't mind me, just making myself at home here. Get a brochure, huh? Monistan, it will be good. Next one over. Northern Quebec, and it's, well, you guys could read this if you want to. I'm pretty sure it's just mostly information about the area. But this game is indeed going to be, Northern Quebec, obviously. 1972. Really cool. I like the setting. I like the time frame as well. I'm not too familiar with Northern Quebec, man. I know Canada to some degree, but, like, mostly the stuff right above me here in the west coast of California. Oh, not west coast California, but the west coast of the U.S., right? But the French-Canadian portion, I'm not too familiar with. I had a really good close friend. She was French-Canadian herself. But that's really all my extent of knowledge was from her. And it was very limited, to be honest with you. Alright, let's see here. Okay. Pop you open. Got a pincer. Fire starter. Cool, we can just be Prodigy now. Twisted fire starter. I don't think I want to jump off. Can I even jump in this game? Oh, I can jump. Okay. Well, let's make a point not to jump off from this high up, because I don't believe my dude is a cat. Chances are he won't be landing on his feet, and if he does, there'll be 2 broken legs here pretty soon. So now that we have the pincers, I guess we just probably pop this bad boy open. Anything else here to collect? No, I'm all about collecting, man.
Hamilton never mentioned a road-blocking barrier. Why was it needed here in the back of Beyond? That would, however, be a mystery for another day. Carl had waited long enough for someone to come and raise it. Hamilton is waiting for Carl in the general store. It was time for him to get down to business. William Hamilton enjoyed a lavish country house built in the very heart of the northern forests, not too far from here. The local populace was divided when it came to the affluent man. Some saw a wealthy philanthropist dedicated to improving the region's economy. others an aging Englishman who would do anything to further his fortunes. And those ones hated him enough to go on about scheming against him. Hamilton had recently acquired a few local businesses, but the last straw was the reopening of a mine, which gave rise to a wave of protests and threats from the Cree people. Given these circumstances, Carl reckoned that a good number of people must be feeling compelled to oppose Hamilton in one way or another. So far, only the industrialist's house had been a target, but soon enough, Carl thought, the target would become the man himself. Carl needed to get out of there. The cold and the pain required urgent care.
Quite an introduction, I gotta say. I like it. This is a lot different than what we played with the early access preview build. Alright, so first things first, we should probably go to find out if this person here is fine.
The driver had taken off. It was still best to check it out and leave nothing to chance. Carl needed help.
Isabel photo. And who gets in a crash and just runs this way, man? He had to have been a little bit hurt, right?
Such heart-wrenching Nordic poetry that was. But Carl didn't care much about flowery language.
Alrighty, well that's that. I think being out here is making me freeze, obviously, so we should probably try to find whatever we have to. First aid kit, okay. We use that to clear my wounds.
This deep in the country, his last hope was to find an abandoned garage or a farm by the roadside. His life depended on it.
So maybe down through here. Said Manistan Sud. Here we go. This looks awesome, by the way. You know what's great about this, too? The performance is amazing now. When I first played this, it was actually quite bad.
Scratches did not stop Carl. His mother would be so proud.
It was actually quite bad, but now this is up, man. No drops whatsoever. I think I got everything maxed out too, so pretty good. Got some light. Okay.
Even better than he had hoped. Carl Faubert had succeeded once more, and was now on his way to new adventures.
Okay, so now we're warming up. Great. So there seems to be like some sort of like mental meter, perhaps. We have the warp meter as well. Oh, but we have injuries too, right? So let's see, how would I... When under stress, Carl is less accurate and runs shorter distances. Less accurate? Oh, so there's gonna be combat involved too. Great. I'm getting a really big, long, dark vibe from this, obviously, too. Now, I would like to heal my wounds, so that's possible. Consumable. Here we go. So we're at half health, and this will bring us up to full. Excellent. And more than likely, if I'm too stressed out, I imagine I have a smoke or two, and we'll be fine.
Carl, like many of his contemporaries, felt like he had more trouble breathing when he wasn't smoking. Cigarette was his own personal breathing assistant.
Alrighty, well, we got the chain that we needed, right? So I hope that's gonna get us off of that, because I do believe we have to drive. Oh, here we go. Lay chains. Each one? No, just one. Go. Is that it? Yeah, we got it. Cool. Back on the road. I'm not in control. I was backing up myself thinking I was in control, but it's automatic here. Now it's me? Hey, now it's me. Alrighty, cool. Well, it's nice to see that I can't see a goddamn thing in front of me. Northern Quebec, why are you so crazy, dude? I mean, I say all the time that I like the idea of snow. I don't really know much snow because I live in SoCal, so if I want snow, I gotta go all the way up to the mountains for that shit, and that's too much of a commitment for snow, but if I had to deal with this type of snow driving anywhere, I would never leave the house, because this is terrifying. I mean, how do you even combat
Spread
this?
out on a few acres of untouched forest, bellowing caribou, everlasting snow, and undefiled lakes. The Manistan region was no tourist hub. It was said to have been populated for millennia by Cree people, and ever since the industrial era, by the metal mining industry.
Aha, general store. Alright, so that's still here. Great. Now, when I played the early access build, this place was completely thrashed, so I wonder if that's still the case here around. General store. Okay. So we do need fuel.
The pumps wouldn't surrender their divine nectar so easily. In all likelihood, they had to be switched on from inside the store.
Of course. Of course they would. We got here.
A milkman had to drive by every week to fill the bottles. The fresh milk indicated a recent visit.
Alright, so there's been people here.
Something fell to the bottom of the box.
But we need a key. Okay. This is part on detective, by the way, this game. I mean, I am a private eye after all, but it's survival narrative and detective work, which is, you know, pretty cool.
Carl had no trouble recognizing his employer. He had been killed. There was no need to be a detective to figure that out. But only a detective could have noticed that the killer had to have been very close, that the fatal blow had been given before the victim even realized.
Oh, that's a bitching camera right there, dude. Okay. So, that seems pretty... Let's get that file in here just in case. Yeah, it's good. Keep that one.
Carl felt a chill down his spine and had a terrifying realization. If Hamilton was dead, then who was going to pay him?
You know, priorities, right? Oh, this guy's dead. Who's gonna pay me now?
What could be inside that envelope? Carl was taken aback. He knew this address. It was said to be the address of the P.O. box for the Canadian Secret Service.
So, from what I
An explosion suddenly occurred outside.
It's kind of dark now. I got a light? No light? You got... No, don't take your camera out. You got any sort of, That won't do it either. Equipment. There we go. Aha. Now we're looking good. Let's pop this open. Nothing here. Tape, matches. Good.
According to that log, it seemed like the whole village owed some money to the general store. Carl was far more interested in the bunch of nearby addresses he had just gotten his hands on, though.
All right. Good to know. Oh, the key. Oh, that could be for the lock outside, I think. Oh, no, this is garage key. Damn. Last time how this worked, I just needed to make a sale. So, sale? Oh, there we go. Just 1, 2, and sale. I had a feeling. That should be the key. Post key, perfect. Okay.
The snowstorm pummeled everything in its path. Carl was not surprised when he heard no tone.
Yeah, that would happen. So you can now close off. What about this note here?
Carl knew that Gilles Lachance was in charge of the general store. That made him one of Hamilton's employees. A very angry employee, as Carl could plainly see.
You know what, Hamilton? I have a frog in my throat. And when people have a frog in their throat, they do not take risks by going to work. Customers could catch it, right? I'm a wise man. Not to worry. I will have a nice doctor's note, which I'm going to get right now. Sadly, in the meantime, I will have to close down the shop. Unless you would like to come fill in for me. I wouldn't dare advise you after all. You must know how it's done, since it's yours now. With kind regards, your dedicated manager, GILLES. I would just say GILLES, or I guess GILLES makes sense, but I'm gonna mispronounce a bunch of these French type names, so I'm just giving you guys a heads up right now. Oh, the pump. No. Oh, at the garage. We have to power everything up. Okay, that would make sense. What about you? What do? You slide over there. Oh, first aid kit. Hey! Got some wine. You planning to pay for that, buddy? No, just take it. You know, the shop owner is dead. It's fine. In the dark, it is recommended to use a flashlight or a lantern. Hey, I already beat you to the punch. Okay, so we got some wine. Let's go check out what that key is gonna give us. You obviously won't turn on until we get the garage up and running, more than likely. So... oh, heater.
A radiator without power is as good as a wood stove without logs.
Don't get smarmy with me, narrator. Uh-oh.
The murder weapon.
Uh-oh. We got a murder weapon, apparently.
What was that doing there, Carl wondered. Hamilton must have been determined to keep some information secret to post this key. Shame he got unlucky. Everything made sense now. Poor Hamilton's denunciation was interrupted, and he figured it would be best to lock everything up and send the key to his correspondent, who would receive the box later on. Clever, but not enough. That's what happens to ordinary people playing spy.
That's crazy how this just all worked out. So the box we got from the car, so the guy in the car, obviously involved with this somehow, and we got the key here for that box we found in the car that we almost had a crash with. Crazy. Okay, I like how this is working out. It is as a citizen of Her Majesty in the free economic chambers of the world that I must address what follows to the proper authorities. The worst is happening at this very moment. I cannot write at length, but I am requesting immediate help from my country. I believe the free world is in grave danger. A member of my community, the Honorable. The general store also serves as a post office for the locals. Oh, that would make sense with that box we found outside.
Jumping from that height was akin to tempting death. Perhaps that man on the snowmobile had seen enough of this world already. A nice picture of the Magasin La Chance store, seemingly taken the day it was first opened. It feels frozen in time, from an era long forgotten.
That is a store. That's pretty cool.
Amateur hunters showing some pride at having killed a nice pelted beast. With men like this roaming the area, wolves would become extinct within 10 years, Carl thought.
I somehow doubt that. I think we're going to be running into our fair share of wolves here. Fire starter, good. Okay. Again, I'm just stealing stuff at this point. It's fine. He's dead.
The note explained that the garage and the store couldn't be supplied with electricity at the same time.
Ah. So it's one or the other. So right now we turn off the power at the store.
The note explained that the garage and the store couldn't be supplied with electricity at the same time.
So we'll have garage on and store off. That is what we'll do, because I think we have that key for it anyway. I'm pretty sure we'll have to do something in there. Okay, so that's that. Oh!
Maintaining his composure, Carl recalled something from his military training. Wolves always stay away from populated areas. Wait, was it about bears?
Well, you better make up your mind. I don't want to deal with bears or wolves, to be honest with you. Alright, so you still need to be...
Carl was no electrician, but he could identify a wiring problem when he saw one.
I need the pliers, though.
Carl was no electrician, but he could identify a wiring problem when he saw one.
So we do have the tape. All we need is the wires. We have the tape, we just need the pliers, which more than likely are in the garage, I would say. Alright guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm enjoying it thus far. I'm glad it finally came out. I should have made a bit more noise, I think, because this game does look pretty cool. But hey, you know, it is what it is. I think I could turn you on here, right? Yeah. Warm me up, buddy. I wish I would have made a bit more noise, because I think this might be a pretty cool game. But there you guys have it. If you enjoyed it, want to see a bit more, let me know. We might cover a bit more of it. Otherwise, you know, Kona, it's out. All the information in the description will tell you how to pick this up in case you're interested in checking out a little bit of a northern Quebecan survival. Long dark style, it does seem. I will catch you next time.